Let's talk about your right hand. There are two ways to play a guitar with your right hand. One is pick style, and the other is finger style. It's a good idea to try and learn both. Let's start with pick style. There are many different kinds of picks, many different sizes, many different shapes, many different weights. I recommend that you don't use anything larger than the standard triangular size pick. You can go smaller, lighter, heavier, whatever you want, but try not to go larger than this. I use these small teardrop shaped picks because they fit my hand well. Now, holding the pick, you start off by curling your first finger up like this, and then place the pick so that it's perpendicular to this section of your finger. Make sure it balances, and then just put your thumb on top. Now, a lot of players like to play with their fingers tucked in when they strum or pick notes. Other players like to extend these fingers and let them float freely on the pickguard of your guitar. It's really a matter of personal preference. I like to play like this. When you're striking a string on the guitar, a good way to get started with the pick is to use what we call sort of a rest stroke with a pick. If I'm striking my fourth string, for instance, I'll pick the string and then let the pick come to rest on the adjacent string. This ensures a nice even tone and a nice consistent tone all the time. When you're playing on the top string and you have no other string to bump into, simply pick straight down. Now, we're starting with these downstrokes because it's going to give you the best sound, and when we start working on upstrokes, you're going to want to match that sound. So let your ears get used to that sound of a nice strong downstroke. Don't hold the pick too hard or too lightly. Just moderation is the key here. What about finger style? Well, if you've never played fingerstyle before, it might be a good idea to get with a good teacher, a classical teacher or an acoustic fingerstyle teacher, somebody that can get you started right without developing a lot of bad habits. But if you want to get started with the basics, let's start there. Let's assign each finger a string. Put your third finger, or A, on the first string, put M on the second string, and your first finger, or I, on the third string. Now place your thumb, P, on the sixth string. Now your next step is to swing your fingers back behind your thumb. The reason you do this is so when you pluck a chord, that you don't have a collision with your thumb and your forefinger. If you're playing like this, they're going to bump into each other. So you swing your fingers back, put your thumb in front, and then you simply pinch the chord like this. Now the tendency at first is to sort of pull out like this. This will give you a weak sound, a very poor sound. And then you have to worry about coming back into position from out here. So keep your hands still, and it's just a small pinching motion, just like that. Now your right hand will move among the strings. Sometimes your third, second, and first fingers will be over the first three strings or the top three strings. Other times you're going to move them inward. Generally your thumb is going to handle the sixth string and the fifth string, and sometimes the fourth string, so you have to be a little flexible with that. But the idea is economy of motion. Don't move your right hand around very much. Try and keep it still no matter what you're doing. Keep it real light and just pinch shut. So practice that a while, and then we'll get into the warm-ups.